When was the last time you woke up with a strong natural morning erection? For many men over 60, the answer is painful months, sometimes even years. And while most brush it off as just aging, I want you to stop and really think. Because that silence in the morning isn't just about sex. It's your body sending a warning signal that your vitality, your circulation, even your hormones are quietly slipping away. I've seen this fear in the eyes of countless patients who sit across from me in my office. They lower their voice embarrassed and say, "Doctor, I don't feel like myself anymore. I don't feel like a man." And I understand why it feels devastating, because without those natural morning erections, many men begin to wonder, if my body can't do this, what else is it failing at? It's not just about intimacy, it's about confidence, energy, and the reassurance that your body is still strong. Now, here's what shocks most people: men in their 70s and even 80s are restoring those morning erections consistently and not with expensive blue pills or risky injections. The truth is almost unbelievable. The solution comes from something so simple, so natural, and so inexpensive that most men overlook it. A single spoonful of the right oil before bed. As a board-certified urologist and professor, I've spent more than 3 decades studying men's health hormones and circulation. I don't deal in fads or empty promises. What I share with my patients and with you today is rooted in science, backed by research, and proven in real lives. I've watched men walk into my office broken and weeks later return with a spark in their eyes telling me their mornings had changed forever. So before you dismiss this as too simple to work, I invite you to stay with me, because in just a moment, I'll show you why this timing matters, which oils truly work, and how one nightly habit could transform not just your mornings, but your confidence, your energy, and your life. I want you to imagine this: every night between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., your body runs like a hidden factory. Hormones are being built, tissues repaired, energy, reserves restored. It's the most important shift of your entire day, yet most men don't even realize it's happening. Now, here's the problem. What happens when the factory runs out of raw materials? Production stops. And in a man's body, that means testosterone drops, circulation slows, and those morning erections quietly disappear. I've sat across from hundreds of men in my clinic who thought age alone had stolen their strength. But science tells a very different story. Research shows that testosterone is synthesized from healthy fats. Without them, your body simply can't keep up with demand. It's not about being too old, it's about being undersupplied. And that's why a spoonful of the right oil before bed becomes such a game changer. You're stocking the factory shelves just before the night shift begins. Think about it while you sleep. Those oils deliver essential fatty acids that become the backbone of testosterone. At the same time, they fight off inflammation, clogging your blood vessels, opening pathways for better blood flow where you need it most. Patients who once told me, "Doctor, I think my best years are gone," often return just weeks later, smiling, almost shocked, saying, "I woke up with an erection I thought I'd never see again." That moment tells me everything. Timing matters, and giving your body the right fuel transforms what it can deliver. But of course, not all oils are created equal. Some are foundational, others unlock unique powers that go far beyond simple hormone support. And the oil I always recommend men start with, because the science behind it is simply undeniable, is extra virgin olive oil. When men ask me, "Doctor, where should I start?" I don't hesitate. My answer is always the same: extra virgin olive oil. It may sound too simple, too ordinary, but that's exactly why most men overlook it and why the results catch them completely off guard. I still remember one patient in his late 60s. He had tried everything: supplements, expensive pills, even injections. Nothing gave him consistent results. When I suggested a tablespoon of olive oil before bed, he laughed. That's it, olive oil. But 3 weeks later, he walked back into my office with a grin so wide, I knew the outcome before he said a word. His mornings had changed, and so had his confidence. This isn't just anecdotal, it's science. A large study in Greece found that men who consumed olive oil regularly raised their testosterone levels by nearly 20% in just 3 months. That increased rivals prescription therapies, but without the cost, the needles, or the side effects. Olive oil is loaded with polyphenols, powerful antioxidants that not only help your body make testosterone, but also protect it from breaking down or converting into estrogen. In simple terms, olive oil helps you build it and then helps you keep it. The key, though, is quality. You want first cold-pressed, stored in dark glass bottles with a harvest date on the label. Freshness matters, because that's when the polyphenols are at their peak. A tablespoon before bed taken straight, drizzled on a small piece of bread or mixed with lemon juice, is often enough to begin fueling your system. And here's what makes this truly exciting. While olive oil lays the foundation, there's another oil with a completely different superpower, one that targets hidden inflammation in the pelvis, often the very thing blocking blood flow in the first place. That surprising oil is castor oil, and its story will shock you. Most men are shocked when I mention castor oil. For decades, it's been dismissed as nothing more than a harsh, old-fashioned laxative, the kind your grandmother might have kept in the back of a cabinet. But in the right dose, taken the right way, it unlocks an entirely different kind of power, one that goes directly to the root of pelvic health and blood flow. I'll never forget a patient in his early 70s. He came to me exhausted, frustrated, even embarrassed. He told me he hadn't had a natural morning erection in almost 5 years. Pills gave him headaches. Injections left him anxious. Nothing worked. When I suggested a half teaspoon of organic castor oil before bed, he raised his eyebrows. Really, doctor? That's sticky stuff, but 3 weeks later, his phone call still echoes in my memory. His voice was trembling with excitement as he said, "Doctor, I woke up like I was 20 again." The secret lies in castor oil's chemistry. Nearly 90% of it is ricinoleic acid, a fatty acid with potent anti-inflammatory effects. Instead of acting on the intestines in small amounts, it penetrates deep into pelvic tissues, breaking up congestion, reducing swelling, and improving lymphatic flow. That matters because inflammation around the prostate and pelvic vessels is one of the silent killers of male performance. Clear that blockage, and suddenly blood can travel freely again exactly when you need it most. The key is moderation. A half to 1 teaspoon mixed into warm water or milk an hour before bed is enough. It's thick, bitter, not pleasant, I'll be honest, but add a little honey and it's manageable. And when men discover easier urination, lighter pelvic pressure, and yes, the return of those long-lost erections, the taste becomes the smallest detail of all. Yet while castor oil clears the roadblocks, there's another oil that fuels the engine itself. One that turns nighttime into the perfect moment for energy repair and hormone production. And that powerhouse, believe it or not, is coconut oil. Coconut oil is one of those everyday items men glance past without a second thought. It sits in the kitchen, used for cooking or baking, but almost never considered a tool for male vitality. And yet, when I began studying its effects on hormone balance and energy metabolism, I realized if it carried something unique, something no other oil in this list could fully replicate. I remember a man in his mid-60s who came to me drained, sluggish, and defeated. He told me, "Doctor, I feel like my body shuts down at night, like the engine's running, but there's no fuel left." He wasn't just tired. His mornings were flat, his sex drive fading fast. I suggested 1 teaspoon of virgin coconut oil before bed. He looked doubtful, but within weeks, his story completely shifted. He described waking up lighter, clearer, more energized, and with it came the return of firm morning erections he thought were gone for good. The science explains why. Coconut oil is rich in medium-chain triglycerides, or MCTs. Unlike other fats, these bypass storage and are rapidly converted by the liver into clean, usable energy. That means while you sleep, your body suddenly has the fuel it needs for repair tissue recovery and testosterone production during the critical nighttime hours. On top of that, coconut oil contains lauric acid, an antimicrobial compound that calms inflammation in the gut and urinary tract, 2 hidden saboteurs of circulation and nerve health. The best part, it's simple. Start with a teaspoon before bed, and if your body tolerates it, well build up to a tablespoon. Always choose virgin, cold-pressed organic oil, the kind that still smells faintly of coconuts. That aroma means it hasn't been stripped of its power. But while coconut oil fuels your system with clean-burning energy, there's another oil that strengthens the very foundation of male health, protecting the prostate, delivering essential minerals, and feeding testosterone production at its core. That overlooked powerhouse is pumpkin seed oil. If there's one oil most men underestimate, it's pumpkin seed oil. Dark, green, nutty, almost earthy in flavor. It doesn't look like a powerhouse. But for male health, especially after 60, it's one of the most reliable allies I've ever recommended, and the reason is simple. Testosterone and prostate health both depend on what pumpkin seeds deliver in abundant zinc. I'll never forget a patient in his late 60s who came to me worn down, frustrated by nights broken up with endless bathroom trips. He was waking 3, sometimes 4 times, losing sleep and intimacy in the process. His energy tanked, his erections disappeared, and he told me, "Doctor, I feel like I'm falling apart." I suggested 1 or 2 teaspoons of pumpkin seed oil before bed. Within weeks, he was sleeping through most nights, urinating less, and to his surprise, waking up with natural erections again. The relief on his face said everything. Here's why it works. Pumpkin seed oil is one of the richest natural sources of zinc, the mineral your testes rely on to produce testosterone. Without enough zinc, testosterone slows to a crawl. But this oil doesn't just deliver zinc, it pairs it with healthy fats that make absorption more efficient. Add to that phytosterols, plant compounds, proven to reduce inflammation in the prostate and improve urinary flow, and you've got a formula that directly supports both hormone levels and prostate health. The ideal dose is 1 to 2 teaspoons. Before bed, taken straight, mixed with yogurt, or drizzled on a light snack. Store it cold in a dark bottle to preserve its potency and deep green color. But while pumpkin seed oil strengthens the foundation, there's another oil that works on a completely different level, protecting and even reviving the very cells inside the testes that produce testosterone itself. That ancient oil is black seed oil. Among all the oils I've studied, the one that surprises men the most is black seed oil, also called Nigella sativa. For centuries in the Middle East, it's been praised as the cure for everything but death. That sounds dramatic, but modern research is finally confirming what traditional healers already knew. This oil has a direct impact on testosterone energy and male vitality. I remember a patient in his early 70s who came to me after nearly giving up hope. He told me, "Doctor, I feel like my body has shut down. Nothing works anymore." His energy was gone, his confidence shattered. I recommended a teaspoon of black seed oil mixed with honey before bed, explaining it wasn't a miracle, but a support system his body desperately needed. 2 months later, he returned with a spark in his eyes. He leaned forward and said, "I feel alive again. I wake up with strength I thought was gone forever." The reason lies in a compound called thymoquinone. This natural antioxidant protects and repairs Leydig cells, the tiny factories inside your testes responsible for producing testosterone. Over the years, oxidative stress chips away at those cells, leaving hormone levels lower and erections weaker. But black seed oil helps restore them, almost like giving the machinery a second life. Studies show testosterone levels can rise by as much as 20% with regular use, along with measurable improvements in sperm quality, libido, and erection strength. For men with insulin resistance, black seed oil adds another advantage: better blood sugar control, which is critical for sustaining healthy testosterone. The taste is strong, peppery, even bitter. So many men prefer to mix it with honey or choose high-quality capsules. Look for oil that's cold-pressed, organic, and standardized to at least 1–2% thymoquinone for real potency. And while black seed oil repairs the very machinery of testosterone production, there's another oil that works on the highways, carrying that power, your blood vessels. It's not exotic at all. It's fish oil, and its ability to restore circulation may surprise you. When men think of sexual health, fish oil is rarely the first thing on their minds. Most assume it's only good for the heart. But after decades in practice, I've seen fish oil quietly transform not only heart health, but also erections, energy, and focus. Its effects are subtle at first, then suddenly undeniable. One patient, a 68-year-old gentleman, had tried adjusting his diet, adding exercise, even experimenting with herbal teas. Nothing gave him consistency. He was tired, unfocused, and his mornings were silent. When I suggested high-quality fish oil at night, he looked doubtful. "Isn't that just for cholesterol?" he asked. 3 weeks later, his story changed. He told me his mornings felt renewed, his mind was sharper, and yes, his erections had returned with surprising strength. The reason is in the omega-3 fatty acids, EPA and DHA. These compounds reduce the silent inflammation that stiffens and damages blood vessels over time. By calming that inflammation, fish oil keeps vessels flexible and open, restoring the natural flow of blood where men need it most. DHA, in particular, strengthens the vessel walls themselves, making them more resilient and less prone to narrowing. The result? More oxygen, better circulation, and stronger, more dependable erections. And there's a bonus: omega-3s also protect nerve health, keeping the communication between brain and body sharp even as men age. To get results, quality matters. I tell my patients to look for pharmaceutical-grade fish oil, purified mercury-free, and stored cold. A dose of 2 to 3 grams before bed not only improves circulation, but also avoids the fishy repeat most men hate. But knowing which oils work is only half the journey. The real breakthrough comes when you learn how to combine them into a simple nightly routine, a protocol that maximizes every benefit without overwhelming your system. And that's exactly what I'll reveal next. One of the biggest mistakes I see men make is trying to do everything at once. They hear about olive oil, pumpkin seed oil, coconut oil, and suddenly they're taking 5 different oils in the same week, hoping for instant results. Inevitably, their stomach rebels, they feel overwhelmed, and they give up before their body ever has a chance to respond. The truth is, your system doesn't need chaos. It needs consistency. I remember a patient in his early 70s who was eager to try it all. He walked into my office with a bag full of oils and said, "Doctor, I'm ready to fix this in 1 week." I smiled and told him, "That's not how healing works. Give your body a chance to adapt." We slowed him down, starting with just 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil before bed every night for the first week. Once his body settled, we added pumpkin seed oil on alternating nights. Within 3 weeks, not only did he avoid digestive issues, but he began noticing the very improvements he had been chasing for years. That's why I teach a gradual, balanced protocol. Start with olive oil nightly in week 1. By week 2, introduce a second oil, maybe pumpkin seed or coconut alternating nights. By week 3, find your rhythm. Some men thrive with 2 oils consistently, while others rotate 3 or 4. One of my favorite combinations is olive oil and black seed oil. 3 nights a week, pumpkin seed oil, twice a week, coconut oil once, and castor oil once. This way, you're addressing hormones, circulation, inflammation, and prostate health in harmony, not in overload. But once men have the protocol in place, the next question always comes fast. Doctor, how soon will I actually see results? And that's where the story gets exciting, because the timeline might be faster than you think. The question I hear most often is, Doctor, how long before I notice a difference? I understand the impatience. When you've gone months or years without natural morning erections, every day feels like a reminder of loss. But what I've seen in my patients is that change often comes sooner than expected when you give your body the right building blocks at the right time. In the first week, most men don't wake up with erections yet, but they notice something else deeper: sleep calmer nights and steadier energy in the morning. That's the body's way of signaling it's receiving the raw materials it's been missing. By the second and third week, something remarkable often happens. Patients tell me, Doctor, I woke up with firmness I thought was gone forever. Not every morning, not yet, but enough to spark hope. Between the 4th and 6th weeks, improvements usually grow more consistent. Morning erections become regular responses during intimacy, feel stronger, and stamina throughout the day improves. By the 2nd and 3rd month, the benefits often compound. Hormones stabilize circulation, improves inflammation, eases, and men tell me they feel years younger, not only in the bedroom, but in their mood, confidence, and outlook on life. Now, I must be honest, results vary. Some men respond in weeks. Others take longer, depending on sleep quality, stress levels, medications, and overall health. But here's the good news. In my experience, men who stay consistent rarely reach the 2-month mark without seeing meaningful change. Still, there's a catch, because just as the right oils and habits can accelerate your progress, hidden obstacles can silently block it. And unless you recognize them, you might slow down your own success without realizing it. Over the years, I've learned it's not just about what you put into your body, it's about the environment you create for those nutrients to work. Some men follow the oil protocol faithfully, yet struggle to see progress, while others, with the very same routine, notice changes almost immediately. The difference often comes down to hidden factors that either accelerate or block results. Consistency is the first. Your body thrives on rhythm. One patient in his mid-60s admitted he only took the oils when he remembered 3 nights here, then skipping 2, then trying again. Not surprisingly, his progress was slow. Once he committed to nightly use, his results finally arrived. Sleep is another major influence. Testosterone and growth hormone are produced most efficiently during deep restorative sleep. If you're only getting 5 hours, or if sleep apnea is disrupting your rest, no oil in the world can fully compensate. When one of my patients finally treated his sleep apnea, the same oils that had once seemed ineffective suddenly delivered powerful changes. Medications also matter. Blood pressure drugs, statins, and certain antidepressants are known to interfere with sexual function. Oils can help, but the uphill battle is steeper. And then there's stress, one of the most underestimated saboteurs of all. Chronic stress elevates cortisol, which directly suppresses testosterone. I've seen men under constant pressure barely improve until they made time for relaxation prayer or even just deep breathing. The moment stress lowered, their bodies responded almost immediately. And finally, alcohol. Especially at night, it disrupts sleep, blunts hormone production, and reverses your efforts. Even just a few drinks can make a difference. The good news: once you understand these roadblocks, you can correct them. And when you pair the oils with the right supportive habits, the transformation multiplies. That's why the next step is so crucial: the simple daily practices that supercharge results. Over time, I've realized something important. The oils are powerful, but they work even better when you support them with simple daily habits. Think of it like planting seeds. If you don't water them, give them sunlight, and protect the soil, even the best seeds can wither. The same goes for your body. One of the simplest habits is hydration. Blood flow depends on how thick or thin your blood is. When you're dehydrated, circulation slows down and erections suffer. I had a patient who brushed this off until I challenged him to drink half his body weight in ounces of water every day for 2 weeks. He returned amazed, lighter on his feet, more energetic, and with firmer morning responses. Another overlooked habit is strengthening the pelvic floor. Kegel exercises may sound simple, but they directly target the muscles that support erections. I've seen men in their 70s regain noticeable firmness just by practicing them daily. Morning sunlight is another ally. 20 minutes of light within an hour of waking helps regulate circadian rhythm and boost testosterone production. Patients often tell me they feel sharper and more alive when they make this part of their routine. And finally, protect your evenings. Late night screen time disrupts melatonin, which sabotages sleep quality and hormone balance. One man told me that swapping late night television for reading in dim light not only improved his rest, but also made the oils suddenly far more effective. When you combine these small steps with your nightly oils, the effects multiply faster, stronger, longer lasting. And what often surprises men most is how affordable this transformation can be compared to pills and procedures. That's the next piece I want to show you, why the cost of these oils may be the best investment you'll ever make. One of the biggest frustrations I hear from men is the cost of conventional treatments. Prescription pills for erections can cost $30 to $60 for a single dose. And even then, the results are temporary, often accompanied by headaches, flushing, or a racing heart. Testosterone replacement therapy is even more expensive, running hundreds of dollars every month with needles, doctor visits, and constant monitoring. Many of my patients have told me they felt trapped paying a fortune just to borrow back their confidence for a night, all while fearing the long-term risks. That's why these natural oils feel like such a revelation. A high-quality bottle of olive oil pumpkin seed oil or black seed oil might cost $40 to $60, but it lasts an entire month. That breaks down to less than $2 a day. And unlike pills that force a short-lived reaction, these oils nourish you from the inside out, supporting hormone production, calming inflammation, restoring circulation, and protecting your prostate. They don't just address one symptom, they strengthen the entire foundation of male health. I've had men tell me. Not only did they regain morning erections, but they also noticed sharper memory, calmer moods, steadier energy, and better sleep. All of that for the price of a cup of coffee. That's not an expense, it's an investment in yourself. And as a physician, I can tell you, it may be one of the wisest investments you'll ever make. Because in the end, this isn't about oils or even erections. It's about reclaiming confidence, vitality, and the spark that makes you feel alive. And that's exactly where I want to take you now as we bring everything together in the conclusion of this message. I want you to pause and reflect on everything we've covered together. For many men over 60, the loss of morning erections feels like the closing of a chapter, as though strength, energy, and masculinity have quietly slipped away. But what I've shown you today is that this doesn't have to be the end. With the right support, the right timing, and the right oils, your body can still respond, still rebuild, and still remind you that vitality is not gone. It's simply waiting to be unlocked. We explored how olive oil builds the foundation, how castor oil clears inflammation, how coconut oil fuels overnight repair, how pumpkin seed oil strengthens the prostate, how black seed oil restores testosterone-producing cells, and how fish oil protects circulation and nerve health. Together, these simple tools create a protocol that can shift your mornings from silence back to strength. Add in supportive habits, hydration, pelvic floor training, morning sunlight, and better sleep, and you multiply those results many times over. But beyond the science, here's what matters most. This journey is not about perfection, it's about consistency. One spoonful at a time, one night at a time. I've seen men walk into my office defeated and walk out weeks later with a spark in their eyes. That spark is what drives me to share this with you. Now, I want you to take the next step. Save this video so you can return to it whenever you need a reminder. Subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell because I share new science-backed strategies for men's health every single week, and I don't want you to miss them. And before you go, let me hear from you. Does this message resonate with you? If it does, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. Your feedback matters because it helps me create videos that truly serve you. Remember, your body is ready to respond. The only question left is, are you ready to begin?